Welcome to Salon. Today, we're diving into a really powerful strategic analysis from McKinsey. Now, if you're an entrepreneur thinking about expanding overseas, this is for you. We're going to break down why some of the biggest myths about globalization, well, why they could actually be your biggest stumbling block.
Okay, so let's kick things off with a big idea that just shatters a common myth. You know how people say technology has flattened the world, making it one giant marketplace? Well, the truth is actually the complete opposite. What technology really did was amplify the huge structural differences that were already there between regions. And that's exactly why trying to use a global template to expand, it's not just a bad idea, it's pretty much a recipe for disaster. So, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at that globalization illusion. Then we'll check out the baseline for 3 major markets. After that, we dive into how consumers think, the digital and physical ecosystems, and finally, we'll put it all together into a go-to-market blueprint. All right, section 1, the globalization illusion. The whole point here is to really challenge that idea of a one-size-fits-all global market. It's not about being the same everywhere, no. The real key is to get extremely local. This right here, this is the fundamental shift in thinking you have to make. Forget about just copying and pasting what worked at home. It's all about ditching that global unified template and instead embracing what we call localization granularity. I mean, getting really precise and adapting to the unique vibe of each and every market. That's the real foundation for going global today. Okay, so now that we've set the stage, let's look at the actual numbers. Where is the market right now? And maybe more importantly, where is it headed? This chart paints a really clear picture of the current landscape. See that big circle? That's North America. Right now, they absolutely dominate in terms of market share. It's a huge, mature market. Yeah, almost half the entire global market, 47.9%. That's a massive piece of the pie. But it also means it's a really tough, established market to break into. And this is the key takeaway for the future, look at where the growth is. By 2028, the APAC region is set to grab a whopping 40% of the global market. And what's behind that surge? A massive, booming middle class with a lot more money to spend. Okay, this next part is where things get super interesting, I think. We need to go deeper than just market share. We have to get inside the customer's head. It's not just about what they're buying, but the entire decision-making process, the why behind the buy. So check this out. The core reasons people buy things are just worlds apart. In the US, it's all about me, individualism, and making life easy and efficient. In Europe, it's totally different. It's about values. ESG isn't just a nice to have, it's a deal breaker. And then you have APAC, where it's all about the group, about social proof. What are your friends buying? What are the big influencers, the KOLs recommending? That's what drives decisions. And this way of thinking totally changes how people see brands, especially store brands. You know, in Europe, private labels are a huge deal. People trust them completely, think all the year Lidl. But in the US, it's more like a high-end substitute for the big brand. And in APAC, it's still pretty new, and the big international brand names often have that extra cachet. All right, next up, digital and physical ecosystems. This is about how the very structure of where people shop, online and offline, is completely different. I love this visual. It just makes it so clear. On one side, you have the Asian super app. It's like a walled fortress. Everything happens inside this one app. Messaging, shopping, paying, you name it. But in the West, it's the total opposite. It's like an open world built with API Legos. People like to go directly to brand websites, and different services like Shopify or Apple Pay all connect to make it work. And it's not just online. The physical world is just as different. The US, it's the land of the car and the giant big box store out in the suburbs. Then you go to Europe, and it's all about those historic, walkable high streets with smaller shops. And then there's APAC with its super dense cities. There, it's all about the tiny convenience store that's basically the hub of the neighborhood. All of this even changes how you get your stuff, the final mile. The US is running on that classic hub and spoke model, and frankly, it's struggling. Europe is all about PUDO networks, picking up your package from a local shop. But Asia, they've got these incredible swarm networks of local couriers, which is why they can get things delivered ridiculously fast and cheap. So, the big question is, what do you do with all this information? How do you actually build a winning strategy? Well, that's what this last section is all about. Your blueprint for moving from simple copy-pasting to smart, deep localization. Okay, we've boiled this all down to 3 absolutely crucial takeaways for your strategy. First up, you have to abandon the single-channel mindset. You can't just try to force a super app idea on the West. It won't work. You need to plug into their open, direct-to-consumer world. Second, you need to totally rethink your expectations for logistics. That 30-minute super cheap delivery model from Asia, forget it. In the US, you're looking at investing in automation. In Europe, it's all about those Puto networks. And third, and this one is so important, you have to respect compliance and labor costs. Your legal and ESG homework needs to be project number one, not something you think about later. The laws are just so different, and getting it wrong can absolutely sink your entire operation.
And really, that brings us to the main point of all this. Winning on a global scale isn't about forcing your model onto everyone else. It's about a deep, strategic restructuring of your business, getting so precise that you're adapting to every single local market, down to the tiniest detail.
Thank you for joining us. Flow Tao Salon, may you have a prosperous year of the horse.